Good afternoon, guys. Welcome to or welcome back to the channel. Today's the day we are going to tune and dyno the brand new, or new to me, built 5.3. So you guys have been watching the videos. You know, we put cam heads, headers, all that on a 5.3 and threw it up in his truck, and now it's time to get tuned. The last video you saw where I said that I fixed some problems and it ran, and of course it does, but I've decided to trailer it still, just, you know, just to be safe, just in case something's wrong with the tune. So we're gonna tow it on down there. We're actually picking up my grandfather, whose truck this is, and he's gonna go down with me. It's the middle of the week, so you know, all my friends are working, so I happen to be off because it's the holiday. Day before the holiday, got the day off, but he's gonna ride down with me. We're gonna get this thing to the shop. My appointment's at 3. It's like 11:30 now. It's like 2 hours away. It gives us plenty of time just in case anything goes wrong, and plus it's gonna kill the battery on the way there, because where I've got the key on to put it neutral and keep the transfer case in neutral, once I get to the shop I'm gonna have to put that brand new Autocraft in it. But yeah, so I think we're set and ready to roll. I'm going to confirm that the transfer case is in neutral, and then we're going to go. So I'll pick back up the camera once we get maybe about halfway through the road trip. So do y'all want the good news or the bad news? Bad news, we'll start with bad news. The dolly blew a tire with the truck on it, and thankfully they didn't give me a spare. I actually had a spare from my trailer because I had a bad feeling. And sure enough, I'm sitting up here cleaning the windshield so I can see because it's dirty. But the truck runs good. There's the benefit of that. I didn't want to drive it down here because it's not tuned, but I ain't got much of a choice. So we're about an hour away from the shop. We're going to keep moving forward. He's following, my grandfather's following me with the dolly, just in case something goes wrong with this thing. At least we can make it to make it somewhere. I don't know. We're just trying to make it to the shop. I'm already gonna be late because that thing got a flat tire, and it's we see if I mean it mutilated. I mean, it didn't blow apart, but I mean it wasn't just low, it was flat out flat. Let's see, you can see look at that, gone, done. It's just dry rotted and all that other crap. So that's why I didn't want to pull it on the dolly, but we did it, and I'm driving the truck. You can't stop. You got to keep your foot on the brake and keep about 1,200, 1,500 RPMs, or else it'll die. Just, you know, stall doesn't help, but stall is okay. The tune is what's killing it. It can't idle, even in park. So even in that last video it idled, it quit doing that. So, but everything's fine. I mean, I haven't popped the hood, but nothing's burning, so we'll take it as a victory. I'm gonna get back on the road, and I'll pick back up the camera hopefully when we get to the shop. Hopefully there's nothing else to film. All right guys, we are back at Niced Up Motorsports in Greensboro, North Carolina. The truck is on the dyno. This is the same dyno that we put out that 313 horsepower and 337 foot-pounds of torque on the stock motor. So we're using the same dyno. We ought to see the exact gain because I tried to keep all the variables the same. This is my grandfather right here. He rode down with me. He's the owner of that Ford that you guys have seen on the channel the past couple videos. Thankfully he came down with me today. Nobody else was free to help us out.
To buy that truck, it's for sale.
Oh, the Ford is for sale. It's definitely for sale, so if you're interested you can let me know. But he's playing with another truck out there right now. The tuner is. Once he gets in here, we're gonna get tuning on it. It's loud. It's very loud driving it. We'll definitely have to put some mufflers on it, but I'm excited to see what it puts out. So once he gets this thing all strapped down and ready to go, I'll pick back up the camera. But before I do that, right there guys is the reason that we're not running the 12 wides on the dyno. Look at that, there's no room. You can't do it. You know, if I put them on here, you'd catch on that right there and it wouldn't be good. So that's why we got stock tires on here. But like I said, I'll pick back up the camera in just a bit. All right guys, we're gonna get a baseline number before we mess with the tune. So we're just he's gonna get it fired up and we're gonna go for it. The reason that the dyno footage stops there is because we ran into some issues, and not issues with the mechanics of the motor, issues with the power output of this motor. Now, the old 5.3 made 313 wheel horsepower, as you guys saw in that dyno video. When we as soon as we put it up on the dyno, we ran the truck just without tuning or anything, just to see where it was at. It put down 290 horsepower out of this motor with everything done to it. And after tuning, timing, fuel, playing with all of it, the final number, 325 horsepower, 337 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if we were talking about my old 5.3 with headers, you know, that's what I would expect. But we're talking about heads, cam, headers, you know, high-flow cats, you know, just all the junk that is power adders over, you know, factory everything, and we gained, you know, not like 12 horsepower. So something is really wrong, and so we tried different things, you know, and just didn't make any power. I mean, at one point, you know, we tried throwing more timing and more fuel, and it wouldn't respond to any of it. I mean, we could put, you know, one whole degree of timing and more fuel in it, and it wouldn't gain a single horsepower. So something is wrong with it, and it's weird because it runs so good. It starts up, it idles smooth, it runs smooth, and you know, there's no check engine light either. It's all fixed. You know, it's great, but no power. So the only thing that we haven't done is compression test, and of course, the shop that tunes it, it's not his job to work on it. So we didn't do a compression test there. He only tunes, you know. So today, later tonight, or either later this week, I'm gonna do a compression test on it and see where we're at. That's the only thing I could figure is we have low compression in one or more cylinders, and you know what I think is wrong is maybe we don't have valve seating, and I say valves with an S because I mean that power number is probably about 100 horsepower off what it should be. You know, you guys threw out your numbers that you thought that it would be. I honestly believed on the stock intake manifold at the wheels that the truck would have put down about 430 with everything that had been done to it after being tuned, after being, you know, everything being done. But obviously we were nowhere close to it, and it could have put out more. Who knows? We could have made a whole lot more than that. But it just was not there for us, and you know, he's not into the motor. He didn't build it. You know, he's looking at what the computer tells him. The computer tells him that the motor's running fine, and that's all it makes, which is wrong. We know it's wrong. You know, just because and you know, another thing was too is we put the power curve up on the screen of the original baseline pull that I did, and then this motor. And if the power curve was like this on the factory motor, the new curve is here. So you know something's wrong. Now eventually it came up, and it, you know, at the top end it was higher than the old 5.3, but we should have had more power everywhere, and we didn't. So it is no faster than it was. You know, 10 horse, 20 torque. I mean, I guess technically it's faster, but it's not. You know, when you're talking about how much money and parts are in here, obviously that's not faster. So, you know, I wish I would have had some awesome power number to show you guys, but you know, it's not. You know, I've got to figure out what's wrong. So, you know, I'm sorry. You know, it didn't put out that kind of power number. I'm disappointed. I'm sure everybody else is disappointed because you guys wanted to see that number, but I guess we still have more work to do. I guess we got to figure out what's wrong with it and go from there. I'm totally open to comments down below. Now, be reasonable. Don't be throwing out wild ideas. We've gone through everything, coils, plugs, it fires on all cylinders. The only thing is compression test. Everything's tied up. We've already went through the computer on it, no check engine lights. Everything's plugged in. Everything's good. We just haven't checked compression. So if you have something outside of the normal realms of things that you would check on, I'm open to ideas. But compression, I think, is the next step. And of course, the next video will be us taking a look at that and seeing what it is. So I'm sorry we didn't get a number for you, and you know, I'll get it fixed. We'll come back. You know, it's gonna work. It's gonna happen. I'm not gonna back down from it and just give up. So thanks again for watching. I appreciate everybody's support. The channel's growth during this time period of me building this motor is increased 100%. You know, as far as just daily growth, it's been amazing. I appreciate each and every one of you support. I've enjoyed doing this for you guys. Everybody's comments, suggestions, I listen to them, I hear them, and you know, some people's suggestions, I changed what I originally thought because somebody had a better idea and I did it. So I really do appreciate the input. I appreciate y'all's support, and you know, without YouTube, I couldn't necessarily do this. I wouldn't necessarily be able to fully afford it. And it wouldn't really be worth my while to do it. You know, I enjoy giving good content to you guys and building my channel to be something that you guys want to see. So this disappoints me. I'm disappointed that I have to tell you guys that something's wrong with it and it didn't make that kind of power. But I guess that, you know, you guys will be right there watching the progress to see where we will be fine. So thanks again for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're not already. Of course, a lot more videos coming until we figure out what is wrong with this thing. Go follow me over on Instagram at Austin04_Z71. Take care. Have a great day.